ESPN welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
The spotlight's on. Time to stake your claim for Monday Night Football's Hall of Fame.
The Broncos, the Chiefs, two long-time foes.
They all turn it up when they play in this show. The moments, the legends, a great rivalry. What a football game this could turn out to be.
If you're ready for a party,
Let me hear it if you want to win.
you know it's time to ball.
We about to kick it off.
And all y'all let the games begin.
Oh yeah. Didn't forget it. Casey here. Are you ready for some football? A Monday night party. Stage is shut.
Let's get it kick-started.
Get your game face on.
The crowd's getting psyched.
All my riding friends are here on Monday night.
They're rowdy here. They're ready for some football. They're ready for Halloween tomorrow night as well. Arrowhead Stadium, one of the loudest venues in American sports, home of the Chiefs since 1972. Kansas City won the toss and deferred, so Denver will receive the opening kickoff from the rookie Harrison Butker. Kicking with a 12-mile-per-hour wind at his back. Breezy and chilly, 44 degrees at kickoff. Cody Latimer back deep for Denver. They've been the second best kickoff return team in the league, behind only the Rams, but Latimer will take a knee about 6 yards deep in the end zone. There comes Trevor Siemian, third-year man out of Northwestern, 7th-round draft pick in 2015, completing 63% of his passes. And the big problem, as John mentioned a moment ago, the protection. He's been sacked 22 times this year. Only Jacoby Brissett of the Colts, Josh McCown of the Jets, and Matthew Stafford of the Detroit Lions have been taken down more often. Jordan Taylor, the motion man. C.J. Anderson gets to start at running back. And he's ahead for about 4. Justin Houston made the stop for Kansas City.
They got to get C.J. Anderson in this running game going. Have not been able to run the football in the last 2 weeks. They've fallen behind in the down and distance, and they have exposed this young and struggling offensive line. Good start getting Anderson a positive game.
They haven't even managed a first down on any of their first possessions of their last 4 games. After the play fake, time for Siemian. He threw a sinker to the outside, incomplete. Too low for Benny Fowler. Seeing more action tonight in the absence again this week of Emmanuel Sanders. Major struggles up front. They should be helped by the return of Menelik Watson at right tackle. He sat out last week with a calf injury. The backs and receivers, we mentioned, they're without Sanders again tonight. So even more focus on the great Demaryius Thomas and Jamal Charles. It'll be strange for him to trot out onto this field as a member of the visiting team for the first time in his career after 9 years in Kansas City. On 3rd and 6, Siemian off target. Tough to tell who that was intended for. It landed near Benny Fowler, who did not appear to be looking for the ball.
New corners in the game. You see Nelson, number 20, back in the lineup. He has missed the first 7 games. Nelson started 14 games last year for the Chiefs. A welcome return to the secondary.
The dangerous Tyreek Hill back deep for Kansas City. He put on a show in the 2 games against the Broncos a year ago. Riley Dixon has struggled as the punter. This one not very good either. Into the wind. Flag comes soaring through the air on the catch by Hill. There is that flag down. Look out. Can he stay in bounds? No, he cannot. Out of bounds near the 30-yard line. They'll mark him out at the 36 if the return stands. But a flag back at the 30-yard line, right near where Tyreek Hill caught the ball.
And punter Riley Dixon continues to give great returners great looks. Can't happen.
Tony Correnti, the referee. And Dixon, a bad punt last week.
During the kick, holding, receiving team, number 21. 10-yard penalty, first down.
Eric Murray, guilty of the hold for Andy Reid's Chiefs. And that bad punt by Dixon last week led to a punt return touchdown by Travis Benjamin of the Chargers. There's the hold.
And Murray had 2 penalties last week on defense, and there have been many penalties against the defensive backs of the Chiefs. That is huge.
So the Chiefs on offense for the first time, led by Alex Smith, leading the NFL in completion percentage, also leading in passer rating, and he's thrown 15 touchdown passes without an interception. As you might imagine, he does lead the league in touchdown to interception ratio as well. Kareem Hunt, the rookie running back out of Toledo, back to the line of scrimmage, and that's about it. Hunt, 100 scrimmage yards or more in each of his first 7 games. That's why he leads the NFL in scrimmage yards. He's the first player in the history of the league to go over 100 scrimmage yards in each of the first 7 games of his career. 3rd round draft choice out of Toledo, where he's the all-time leading rusher for the Rockets. They spread the formation with 5 receivers. Smith, lots of time, throws deep and out of bounds over the head of Hunt out of the backfield. He's also an effective pass catcher. Here's the Chiefs offensive line. They should be helped by the return of Mitch Morse at center. He's missed the last 5 games with a foot injury. The backs and receivers dynamic, particularly the right half of that screen. Hill, Hunt, and Kelsey. More combined yards from scrimmage of any trio in the National Football League this year. Nearly 2,000 yards combined. On 3rd down, Charkandrick West, their 3rd down running back, on the field. Smith, a wobbler, and a nice catch by Travis Kelsey for a first down. Out to the 38-yard line.
Well, Denver jumped into their NASCAR package. 3 defensive ends. They come with a zone blitz. Take a look. Marshall, 54, comes right up the middle. They come off the left side, and West, number 35. What a pickup. And there's Kelsey going up and getting it. Blitz pickup. Charkandrick West, number 35. Great work.
Just 190 pounds. But he will stick his face in there every time. Hunt, the ball carrier. Remember, when we spoke with Charkandrick West yesterday, he's been tutoring Kareem Hunt on the art of pass blocking, and he told Kareem Hunt, think of our quarterback as your mother. And when you're trying to block one of those big defensive players, think of that as your mother back there that you're protecting.
I think that it's very important is what he was trying to say. Because Kareem Hunt, that's the only thing we haven't seen Hunt do. He really struggled at the end of the Raider game. Twice against Pittsburgh, he failed to pick up a blitz.
They hand it off to Hunt, running to the right. He's out to the 42. He started the weekend as the leading rusher in the league, and you call this rush defense for the Broncos the body snatchers. Only Philadelphia's been better against the run this year. And Denver's the only team in the league that has not allowed a single rushing touchdown this season.
It is Halloween weekend, and those are some nasty big fellows. They held Ezekiel Elliott to 8 yards. Marshawn Lynch made 12, and LaShawn McCoy made 21.
Le'Veon Bell passed Hunt yesterday to become the leading rusher in the league, but Hunt's only 43 yards away, starting the night from retaking the lead in rushing in the NFL. A blitz on 3rd and 6. Smith's an excellent scrambler, runs out of time and throws it away. Good work by that Denver defense to force a Kansas City punt.
And Denver does a great job defensively getting off the field early in the game and early in the third quarter. They always show you a look or two that you haven't prepared for. That, again, another zone blitz, nowhere for Smith to go. And keep an eye on this returner, McKenzie. He was injured last week with an ankle, but this man has similar skills to Tyreek Hill of the Chiefs, a very dangerous return man from Georgia.
Rookie. Well, he was a Bulldog in Athens. He had 5 career punt returns for touchdowns at the college level. Veteran Dustin Colquitt on the punt. Not good at all. And caught on the run. Looked like he was making a fair catch signal. That's what the Chiefs are gesturing and the crowd is groaning about. And they are going to mark it back where he caught the ball at the 26-yard line. Timeout, no score. One of the Chiefs' all-time legends, Len Dawson, as a player and as a broadcaster. We are very honored. We're the first people here tonight to be broadcasting from the newly christened Len Dawson broadcast booth. They had a ceremony just a couple of hours before kickoff. There's Len Dawson, of course. Great Hall of Fame quarterback and legendary broadcaster. He's been a part of the Chiefs broadcast team on radio here since the late 80s. 24 years on Inside the NFL on HBO. Color analyst for NBC TV back in the early 80s. And one of the nice guys you're ever going to meet. Last year in the booth at age 82. We congratulate Len Dawson on another great honor.
Look out.
Jamal Charles, welcome back to Kansas City. His first carry in this stadium as a visitor after 9 great years as a Kansas City Chief, and he goes for 18 yards.
Just a draw play out of the I formation, and he stings his ex-teammates. Derek Johnson, 56, a struggling inside linebacker, no match for Charles on the cutback. And you just showed Len Dawson, one of the great Kansas City Chiefs ever. So is Charles.
No doubt about it. He'll have his name on this ring of honor around this stadium. Not long after he hangs it up, he gets the carry again.
Well, they have 3 very good backs, and offensive coordinator Mike McCoy is trying to get these 3 guys involved, and somebody's got to step up. He's going to ride the hot hand tonight, and so far Jamal Charles is off to a great start. Wouldn't it be something if Jamal Charles went crazy against his former teammates in this place?
He was relishing the opportunity. I'm going to stick with him. And he fumbles the football. Marcus Peters off and running toward the end zone. Touchdown, Kansas City.
And Charles is sick. A couple years ago, he fumbled late in a game as a Chief against the Broncos and lost the football game. That time he's fighting for extra yardage. The ball is stripped. And there's the turnover this Chief defense has been looking for. You want to hold these runners up and go for the strip. And Peters does a phenomenal job raking that
After
ball.
the play was over, touchdown counts. Unsportsmanlike conduct, member of the defensive team making contact with a crossbar, which is illegal. 15-yard penalty will be enforced on the kickoff.
Yeah, you can throw it over the crossbar, but you can't make contact with it. They don't want the crossbar's position to be altered and have a delay in the game and that sort of thing.
And this Denver Bronco offense just can't get started. Turnovers, penalties. Hard to watch.
Harrison Butker for the extra point. And the 2 losses to Pittsburgh and Oakland, those 2 games combined, Kansas City had just 1 takeaway. They have an early one tonight, and they took it away from an old friend. During the break, Vance Joseph, first-year head coach of the Broncos, trying to keep Jamal Charles' spirits high. Well, he looked good on a couple of those carries, but his fumble returned by Marcus Peters. 45 yards for a touchdown. Because of the penalty against Peters, Latimer kicks off from the 20. And Butker kicked off from the 20. Latimer kicked the ball around. And scooped it up and got back to the 30-yard line. 9 years in Kansas City for the Port Arthur, Texas native Charles. Consistently hit the mark as a Chief. 7,260 rush yards, most in franchise history. 9,700 plus yards from scrimmage. Only Tony Gonzalez, the great tight end, with more as a Chief. And 64 touchdowns, third all-time in franchise history behind Priest Holmes and Tony Gonzalez. We go back to C.J. Anderson. And he powers ahead to the 35 for a gain of 5 on first down.
Denver Bronco offensive line must play better. They have a rookie left tackle, Garrett Bowles. He's athletic, but he's made mistakes. He's had some penalties. The weak link has been the right tackle, Sean. They've used 4 different right tackles, and Menelik Watson, the ex-Oakland Raider, back in the lineup after a calf injury, has to pick it up.
They are clearly trying to establish the run, and they couldn't get that run established. D. Ford able to run down C.J. Anderson for a loss back to the 33-yard line.
Unblocked, he takes the perfect angle, and he walks down Anderson. And third down and 7+. Denver, I haven't seen them convert one in some time, and this place will get rocking. Can they expose these offensive tackles in pass protection?
We spoke to Bob Sutton, the defensive coordinator for Kansas City. Said this has been the biggest problem area for the Chiefs defense. They're the worst in the league on third down, and 7 to 10 to go. Simeon throws, and is it caught? No. Skipped in to the tight end, A.J. Derby.
He's got to make that throw, Sean. The pickup was good enough. He's got to stand in there and make this throw. Derby's wide open. Ball clearly hits the ground, and it's been a combination of a lot of things. And if Simeon is going to help Denver get back to the playoffs, he's going to have to throw the ball better and more consistently than that.
Riley Dixon on the punt again. Much higher kick than the first, and as Hill was calling for a fair catch, he got run over, and flags fly on the play. Benny Fowler made contact with Tyreek Hill.
Pretty obvious this is going to go against Fowler. He ran right into Hill. He's going to say he was blocked into him, and that could be the call against Gaines, number 23.
He definitely did.
There's no foul for interference. The opportunity to catch a kick as a player was shoved or pushed into the receiver. First down.
2 penalties, uncommon penalties against this Chiefs special teams unit.
Vance Joseph in his first season as head coach of the Denver Broncos, 45-year-old Louisiana native. Played collegiately at the University of Colorado. His team down 7-0, and Alex Smith under pressure throws it away.
Well, they're a man-to-man team, and they're borrowing some things they saw the Steelers do. The Steelers had success with the zone blitz. They bring an overload on the left side. They drop a defensive end on the right. They force Kansas City into a tough situation. Look what they did tonight. They bring 3 on the right side. They drop the end on the left, and Alex Smith has nowhere to go. This is a zone blitz, something Denver doesn't do a lot of, but they're going to borrow some ideas that helped the Steelers dominate the Chiefs a few weeks ago.
In their 5-0 start, Kansas City did not score fewer than 24 points in any game. Their first loss of the year, that game to Pittsburgh, they scored only 13. Nice catch by Hunt. He breaks a tackle, lunges forward, got very close to the first down. Darian Stewart, the rare missed tackle for Denver. And I guess they had some friendly help. Joe Woods is the new defensive coordinator. He was the secondary coach the last 2 years in Denver, retained by Vance Joseph. He started in the NFL on your staff in Tampa Bay. You had Mike Tomlin on that staff. Of course, Mike Tomlin now the head coach at Pittsburgh, so they chatted.
Yeah, he's an up-and-coming guy. He was talking to Tomlin. He told us he was going to borrow some of his ideas. So far, so good.
Good effort by Kareem Hunt to get close to the first down. This is 3rd and 2. And an open receiver, and it's dropped. Demarcus Robinson, and here come flags on the hit.
Well, I thought Simmons made a great break on the ball. They fake a quick screen, they bluff like they're blocking, and number 14, Robinson, dropped the football. That's not a penalty.
No. And the officials.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness against the defensive receiver. Number 31, 15-yard penalty and an automatic first down.
Well, it is to the head and neck. Yep, that's a penalty. And a big one, because it would have been likely a punt by Kansas City on 4th down and 2.
They all look like penalties at that super slow-mo. But I tell you, these are tough calls for these officials. They're bang, bang plays.
Yeah, if in doubt, they're going to err on the side of caution, protect the safety of the players. Smith in traffic, a high throw. Seen Adebali applied the pressure. He's a backup outside linebacker in his 4th year out of Boston College.
2nd down and 10. Keep an eye on this Bronco defense. They've had some injuries at linebacker. They're playing number 50 tonight, Zaire Anderson, former Nebraska Cornhusker. They've lost Nelson. They've lost Todd Davis. This young man needs to step up, play well tonight against a very diverse Kansas City offense.
Todd Davis, their 2nd leading tackler, linebacker, sprained ankle last week against the Chargers. Almost made the trip. They think he'll be back for their next game. After the play fake, Kelsey, the catch. Kelsey dragging Broncos with him. Took a high hit as he went across the boundary. And it is a first down at the 29-yard line.
We talked about conflict in the pregame. They're not going to block some of these men on the end of line. They're going to read them. And if you close, he keeps it. And you can throw the bubble now or later. That time he threw it late to Kelsey, who stayed behind the line of scrimmage and eligible. Great work by Alex Smith. Not often you see a bubble screen thrown that late in the down.
Kelsey killed the Broncos in the 2 games last year at 19 catches. As the Chiefs swept the Broncos for the first time since 2000. They've won the last 3 head-to-head. Open receiver, caught. Kelsey, touchdown Kansas City.
That's all Alex Smith, and he read that mismatch. He couldn't wait to audible to that slant and go. You line the tight end up outside the wide receiver. If the safety goes out on the tight end, you know it's man-to-man. He hand signals a slant and go, and Kelsey continues to pound the Denver Broncos. 19 catches a year ago, and if you play man-to-man, snap after snap, it's just a matter of time before Alex Smith and Kelsey go to work.
No contest with the safety, Darian Stewart, in coverage. 29-yard touchdown. And the penalty, a big one. Kept the drive alive, and Kansas City capitalized. Harrison Butker the extra point to make it 14-0. Already 3 catches for 64 yards and a touchdown for Travis Kelce. Travis Kelce, 19 catches last season in 2 games against the Denver Broncos. 3 more tonight. His 19 catches against Denver last year, the most for any player against the Broncos in 1 season since the great Steve Largent had 19 in 2 games for Seattle against the Broncos in 1984. Cody Latimer takes a knee.
Well, you play man-to-man. Alex Smith is going to see it. He sees the corner inside against the receiver, and there is the safety at the top of the screen covering Kelsey. Alex Smith sees the matchup. He audibles to a slant and go, and Kelsey does the rest. You cannot play a lot of man-to-man with no help against Kelsey unless you use Aqib Talib or Chris Harris, but they're over there covering your wide receivers. He is destroying the safety man coverages of the Broncos.
Trevor Siemian on first down. Wobbly pass, intercepted. Terrible throw, and Peters has it in his hands for the 2nd time tonight. And he's swung down by Virgil Green at the 44-yard line of Denver.
For the life of me, I have no idea why Thomas is lined up on the right. That's where Marcus Peters, the Pro Bowl corner, is, and that's his 17th interception. That's a terrible throw. Throwing the ball to a tight end against a Pro Bowl corner, not a good idea. That ball hung in the air forever. That's probably the easiest interception of Peters' career.
So in the last 5 games, including tonight, 2 touchdown passes, 6 interceptions for Simeon. Fans in Denver are restless as he has not performed well, but Vance Joseph has said consistently it's a problem with the entire offensive unit. Here's the pistol now for the Chiefs. So many looks, and so many of them executed successfully. Kareem Hunt inside the 30-yard line.
It'll drive you crazy. Andy Reid will drive you crazy with all the conflict. Von Miller wants to rush the passer. They don't even block him. And if he continues to close, they're going to get outflanked on the perimeter. A lot of conflict in this offense. Second time tonight, Kansas City is taking it to the edge rushers of the Broncos, and that's frustrating.
Still more than 5 minutes to go here in the first quarter, but the Broncos, with their struggle to move the ball and score points, really on the ropes already. Down 14-0. False start penalty here against Kansas City.
False start. Offense, number 10. 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
You know, Sean, you look in the huddle of this Kansas City Chief offense, they've had some changes on the offensive line. They welcome back Mitch Morse, who hasn't played since week 2 at center, and they're moving Zach Fulton, who's been playing center, to right guard. It's a 2-position switch. Got to keep an eye on that tonight, but they've had some bad shotgun snaps the last few weeks, and Morse hopefully can solve that in the pivot.
First and 15 from the 33, and Kelsey can't hang on in traffic. The ball you would expect him to come down with.
It's a simple slant route that Kelsey usually catches, but most of his production comes as a receiver. Look at the amount of catches that he has lined up as a slot or as a wide receiver. 31 catches, most in the NFL, and you know, Zach Ertz is red hot. Jack Doyle's had a very productive season, but when you have a tight end that can line up in his conventional position and all over the field, it's a great matchup.
Chelsea, great athlete at 6'5", 260, movement along the line of scrimmage. Shane Ray.
Neutral zone infraction. Defense number 56. 5-yard penalty. Remains second down.
Alex Smith has a great hard count, especially at home. And that time he got Ray. And obviously Ray is a bit rusty, has not played.
First game back from a wrist injury, still has a couple of screws in his left wrist. Wrist casted with foam on top of it. He's been practicing with it, so he's used to using it. Tough from the grab. Can't bend the wrist. And on target again. Kelsey inside the 10-yard line.
He is reading this Denver defense like a book. You line these tight ends up, he knows it's a 3-deep zone that time based on where the corners line up. So he checks to all go. 4 seams, and Kelsey goes right down the numbers unscathed for an easy first down. Denver got to be real careful. They could get blown out of here. Kansas City knows what they're doing.
19-yard completion. Kelsey is 83 yards receiving here in the first quarter. Timeout, Chiefs. Leading 14-0. A defensive touchdown for the Chiefs got the game started. Now they're trying to take advantage of the second turnover of the night by Denver. Alex Smith off to a phenomenal start, and again tonight leading the NFL, starting the night in completion percentage. That would be the single season record if he could finish the year at 72-4. Sam Bradford said it last year for the Vikings. He leads the league in yards per attempt, one of 4 quarterbacks over 8 yards per attempt. And he leads the league in passer rating. And if he finished at 120.5, that would be the 3rd highest in the history of the league. Now thrown 16 touchdown passes without an interception to start the year. The longest such mark in that area is 20 touchdown passes to start a season without a pick by Peyton Manning as a Bronco in 2013. Throws that one away over the head of Albert Wilson.
What you don't see from Alex Smith is the work that he does behind the scenes, Sean. The help that he has given these young teammates, Kelsey, Hill, Hunt, Wilson, Thomas. He's like a coach on the field. He spends a lot of time in meeting rooms, individual periods, between practices, helping this young core of receivers, tight ends, and backs. And there's a lot of great stuff in Alex Smith. Watch the halfback pass.
Deep toss to Tyreek Hill on the left. He flips it in the end zone, and that might have been a little too tricky for their own good, as Darian Stewart intercepts it. A huge development in this game, a play Denver absolutely had to have.
Saw him practicing this play the other day. Tyreek Hill, bunch formation to the left. They're running a halfback pass all the way. What they don't practice is throwing the ball away when it's not open. And Darian Stewart shows why he's a Pro Bowl safety. He gets burned for a touchdown. He comes right back with a huge play. And Hill made a terrible mistake. You got to cover the coaching staff when they call a play like that. If it's not open, throw it away. That takes points off the board.
How about the note on the bottom of the screen? Their only other turnover this season prior to that one was on their first play from scrimmage. The opener on that Thursday night in New England against the Patriots when Kareem Hunt fumbled. They went more than 400 plays without a turnover since. And Demaryius Thomas with some life now in the Broncos. Out to the 42-yard line. Daniel Sorensen made the stop.
I love that. Put Thomas on the left and go after Acker, a corner that hasn't played at all. Stay away from Peters. Peters is going to be on the Broncos' right. Throw the ball repeatedly to the left against Acker until Kansas City solves it.
C.J. Anderson bounced around but stayed on his feet. Made it to the 48-yard line for a gain of 6.
And here comes fullback number 32, Andy Janovich is a I formation fullback. They love play action passes out of this I formation when they can get you in 2nd down and short.
Get out! 59!
Janovich leading the way for Anderson up the middle, and a first down as Denver crosses midfield. What a big development, that trick play by Kansas City that backfired.
This is an old school I formation. You don't see many teams run, and Janovich has a real nose for the ball, and excellent work setting up Denver with a first down. And Jamal Charles checks back in the lineup after a costly fumble. He should thank Coach Joseph.
Carried 3 times for 18 yards but fumbled, and Marcus Peters brought it back for a score. Another strong run. He told us last night, Coach, those knees that really resulted in the end of his time here in Kansas City are 100% healthy. He had both knees operated on in his last 2 seasons here in Kansas City. They figured after that, age 30, they let him go somewhere else. He says he's healthy, and he looks like it tonight.
He's just happy to have a job, and this is an emotional time for Jamal Charles, no doubt.
Didn't want to leave, but said it was an amicable parting. Appreciated the way the Chiefs handled it. He's yanked down by Benny Logan, first-year Chief, came over as a free agent from Philadelphia.
Nose tackle number 96. Good player. That time he looped across Barber's face. It's 3rd down and 2.
Denver last week against the Chargers, just 3 out of 14 on 3rd down. Under a minute to go, 1st quarter. Simeon dumps it off, 1st down. Latimer could not break the tackle of Marcus Peters, but he got the line to make and then some. 1st and 10 at the 34.
Nice call by Mike McCoy. They get into a bunch formation. You're going to see the receiver come open from left to right. Lattimore missed a lot of action, and they need him to step up in a big way. Without Emmanuel Sanders, their great receiver.
Sanders out for the 2nd week in a row with a sprained right ankle. He very nearly made it. They think they'll have him back for the next game as well. Anderson spins down inside the 30 to the 27-yard line. That'll be the last play of the 1st quarter. The Broncos, at least for the time being, off the ropes on the big interception by Darian Stewart. The Broncos and the Chiefs, great rivalry, started 57 years ago today, October 30th, 1960. Back in the old AFL. Don Elway, legendary Bronco quarterback, now running their football operation. This team up 14-0, but he has to feel like it should be more than that. A turnover in the end zone. His team down 14-0. He has to be relieved that it's only 14-0. His team had the big interception. C.J. Anderson tackled by Benny Logan. And here comes a big 3rd down and short again for Denver from the 25-yard line.
And Kansas City checking into their dime defense. They use 6 defensive backs, surprisingly a lot, to match up against all these receivers, but they have struggled to stop the run.
Quick throw, and it got through to Virgil Green down the sideline and out of bounds with a 1st down inside the 10-yard line. Bumped out by Eric Murray, the safety, after a pickup of 16.
Kansas City blows the coverage. Nobody covered. Number 85, the tight end, Virgil Green. Just a simple flat route. Nobody's home. Parker got picked off, and off goes Green for a huge 1st down. And here they are in the red zone, Sean, and the red zone numbers don't look good in the last few weeks. They need to punch this in, get some confidence restored in this offense.
Booker, the running back, and he gets wrapped up and dropped for a loss by the penetration of Allen Bailey.
And it's getting chippy down there. You said it, these AFC Western rivalries, they're as good as they get. I used to tell my Raider players, when you go to Arrowhead, it's going to be a challenge, man. It's going to be loud, it's going to be windy, they're going to be a good team. But the most satisfying place to get a win is right here in Arrowhead if you're the visitor.
Meanwhile, that play clock was running during some of that extracurricular stuff. Simeon, aware of it, will get a timeout. Well, we have a break. Time to bring you some big news from the NFL. Adam Schefter reporting a huge trade between the 49ers and the Patriots as we approach the deadline. The 49ers will get Jimmy Garoppolo, and the Patriots will get a 2nd-round pick from San Francisco next year. What are your thoughts about that one?
Well,
wow.
My thoughts are maybe Tom Brady is going to play until he's 45 because they don't have a backup quarterback. They've already traded Jacoby Brissett to the Colts. Now they trade Garoppolo. Good opportunity for Jimmy Garoppolo, but what will New England do? Finding a backup quarterback.
Here comes Justin Houston, and down goes Simeon. The veteran Houston turned the corner with a little interference. And has the sack. 6.5 this season for Houston.
Well, Menelik Watson has not had a great year at all. Every rusher that's gone up against Watson has had success. And Justin Houston has spent a lot of his time this season, surprisingly, dropping into coverage. I would be shocked if they don't put Houston against Watson as many times as possible tonight.
On 3rd and goal, they're retreating. Good catch by Fowler. Did well to hang on to it after he got popped by Ron Parker. But it's 4th and goal from the 9, so the field goal team will come out for the Broncos.
And McManus has not been automatic this year either. He's just 8 for 13.
Only Nick Folk has a worse percentage, and he's now on IR among the kickers in the league who've attempted at least 10 field goals. 27-yarder. The punter Riley Dixon is the holder. And that one's right down the middle. There's a flag down. Apparently it's against Kansas City.
Illegal formation on the defense. This penalty's been declined. The result of the play, field goal is good.
And Denver is on the board. 14-3 early in the 2nd quarter at Arrowhead Stadium. One of the most memorable games in the history of Monday Night Football and of this Chiefs-Broncos rivalry, October 17, 1994. A duel between John Elway and Joe Montana. Elway's rushing touchdown gave Denver a 28-24 lead with a minute and a half to go, but Montana brought them down the field. The Chiefs went down the field in 81 seconds. Joe was 7 out of 8 on that drive, including the 5-yard touchdown pass to Willie Davis. Kansas City knocked down Denver that night, 31-28. Montana threw for 393. They hadn't won there, the Chiefs, in Denver since 1982. 12 years without a win at Mile High Stadium. Anthony Sherman, the fullback, brought the kickoff back to the 25-yard line. Alex Smith having the best year of his career. Highly touted out of Utah, the #1 pick overall 2005 by the San Francisco 49ers. Roller coaster there. A lot of turnover on the coaching staff. 7 different offensive coordinators in his first 7 seasons. He had him at 6-2-1 in 2012. But Jim Harbaugh benched him for Colin Kaepernick, and he got traded the next year to the Chiefs, where he's been a big winner in the regular season. Only Tom Brady and Russell Wilson with more wins during that span, but just 1 playoff win. And that's what has people here in Kansas City pondering the future. Hunt, the ball carrier. They drafted Patrick Mahomes, traded up to number 10 in this year's draft, John, to get the Texas Tech quarterback, who's a tremendous talent. But no rush right now, at least, to play the young man with the way Alex Smith's playing.
Well, not many quarterbacks can handle the volume of Alex Smith. They're running a lot of college spread plays, but they're also running some intricate West Coast patterns. It's a lot of football that the veteran quarterback Smith can execute. Right on cue.
Yeah, they've run that successfully. You know, and that obviously takes a lot of mental acuity, experience, decision making, poise, and he's made those right decisions so often when they've run that play this year.
Well, he's played in so many offenses. He had 7 different coordinators with the 49ers. He played for the great Urban Meyer at Utah, running plays just like that. And now Andy Reid has put everything together, and they give Alex Smith a lot of control at the line of scrimmage, and rightfully so.
3rd down 4.
Man-to-man down here.
He looked first toward Kelsey, throws to the other side of the field, a little bit too long for Hill, and that's hard to do. Overthrow, the fastest man in the league.
That should be a touchdown, and Alex knows it. He knew it was man-to-man based on the deployment of the safeties, and Hill gets the great release against Harris. Ball just thrown too far.
We spoke with Von Miller and Shane Ray last night about the Chiefs. They talked about Tyreek Hill. So we knew going into the 2 games last year was fast. We had no idea how fast until we saw it on the field. Von Miller said it's the fastest man he's ever faced. Great coverage. Right there on Isaiah McKenzie's catch was J.U. Chesson, the rookie out of Michigan, who in recent weeks has really become a factor on special teams. 50-yard punt by Dustin Colquitt. Halloween Eve here in Kansas City. Chiefs leading 14-3. Denver ball 1st and 10 from their own 19. Devontae Booker, a hard-earned 2 or 3 yards up the middle, hit by Chris Jones.
I think Booker's their best back. A draft choice out of Utah. He had a wrist injury, missed all of the preseason. C.J. Anderson is a world champion. Booker is the man they think can do it all, and Jamal Charles is somewhere in the mix. Still have not solved their backfield situation in terms of who's the lead dog.
Lance Joseph did say last night that if Booker had been healthy, he likely would have been their #1 back. Fake to him, and the ball drops right off the hands of Virgil Green. He would have had a 1st down beyond the 30-yard line.
It's just always somebody with this Bronco offense. It's a missed throw, a drop pass, an offensive lineman gets beat, a penalty. And in big games like this, you have to make those kinds of catches.
Not been much of a pass catcher in his career. He's in his 7th year. He has just 66 career catches. Simeon trying to communicate with a play clock at 5 and the noise getting louder by the second. 4-man rush off his back foot. Another really bad throw. Boy, as much as he's been hit, it looks like he's kind of feeling the effects of it over the weeks.
I'm feeling the effects of it. Houston just smokes the other tackle, Bowles. Houston went to the other side and ran right around Garrett Bowles.
Wow.
And you can't play quarterback when you get hit like Trevor Simeon has been hit. Those are not hits. Those are car crashes.
The guy who's come off shoulder surgery. Flag down. Movement along the line of scrimmage.
False start. Offense number 50. 5-yard penalty will remain 4th down.
Zaire Anderson called for the penalty.
Got to keep an eye on Riley Dixon, this punter. He has struggled directional kicking. He gave Benjamin a beautiful look last week for the Chargers, and they've already given Hill one good look tonight, but it was called back.
Denver is last in the NFL in punt coverage. Their opponents averaging better than 15 yards per return. Even with the wind at his back, not a very good punt. And it rolls dead at the 46-yard line. 37-yard punt. 2 marquee college football matchups coming your way Saturday on ABC, 3:30 Eastern Time. 6th-ranked Clemson in Raleigh to take on number 20 NC State. And then at 8 o'clock, another ACC battle. 13th-ranked Virginia Tech collides with undefeated and number 9 Miami. Both games streaming live on the ESPN app. Great field position all night long for Kansas City. Their average starting field position's been their own 46, and that's where they operate from on 1st down this time around. After the play fake to Hunt, he's open. He has a 1st down. Yanked down by Brandon Marshall in Denver territory at the 42.
For this young back to do what he's done, it's unbelievable. As a runner and a receiver, he makes it look so easy. There's not a thing this man cannot do. Over 100 yards from scrimmage in every single game. Can he do it again tonight?
12 yards on that play. 40 yards total from scrimmage tonight. Smith zings one. Tyreek Hill has a first down inside the 20-yard line.
You got a lot of confidence when you start going after Akeem Talib, but that shows you how far Tyreek Hill has come as a receiver. Just a deep cross against the great Talib. He set him up, he squared him up, made him defend both sides of the cut, and Smith made a perfect throw. Tyreek Hill has come a long way as a receiver. He's running all kind of routes from all kind of positions.
25-yard gain. Flag down. Looked like the Broncos were offside. A couple of flags down. Hunt's down near another first down. Tackled by Darian Stewart.
Well, Von Miller was offsides. I know that. Perhaps offsetting
Offside.
penalties.
Defense number 58 in the neutral zone at the snap. Illegal block in the back. Offense number 10. By rule, these penalties will offset. Replay. First down.
Well, that's Von Miller's game. Nobody gets off the ball better than Von Miller, in my opinion. That time, obviously, off early. But Kansas City has done a nice job keeping this pass rush off balance. They got Shane Ray earlier. First down, Kansas City.
Pistol again in the option pitch, and plenty of running room for Kareem Hunt. Banged out of bounds by Justin Simmons. It appears he has another first down.
Who runs a speed option to your left? Once again, they go after the edge players of the Broncos. They read him. Spent a lot of time talking to Ray and Von Miller last night. None of these great edge rushers like it when you don't block them. It is really frustrating.
First and goal, Kansas City. Smith keeps it. Smith looked like he might be heading for the comfort of the sideline. Turned it up the field and very nearly got to the end zone.
Such a great competitor and so athletic. And some of the ball handling endeavors that he can execute, it's unbelievable.
Well, last time they were down here, they had a 14-0 lead. It looked like they had a chance perhaps to put Denver away.
Well, Denver has not allowed a rushing touchdown all year. Will this be the time?
Second and goal. Jet sweep action from Tyreek Hill. Instead, they toss it back to Hunt, and he's in trouble. Great play by Justin Simmons to swing him down for a big loss back at the 7-yard line.
Boy, I like this young safety out of Boston College. Taking over for T.J. Ward. They're going to fake a jet sweep to the left and flip the ball to Hunt, and Simmons wasn't buying it. This man showed up at the combine and ripped it up. Speed, agility. Played corner and safety at BC. He's the perfect hybrid safety for Vance Joseph and his Bronco defense.
That development made it easy for them to part company with T.J. Ward. Third down and goal. Approaching 5 minutes to go in the half. Smith too high. Back of the end zone looking for Ross Travis.
Good red zone defense.
Yes, indeed.
Once again, Darian Stewart, the man that intercepted the ball earlier. He carried Travis right up the seam, and here's Butker.
Yeah, how about him? Made his debut on Monday Night Football against the Redskins 3 weeks ago. They signed him off Carolina's practice squad when Cairo Santos got injured. Missed his first kick in that game, a 46-yarder, but he's made 13 in a row since, and that one is right down the middle from 25 yards. They get 3, but it's a disappointment to Smith. Comparison of the two quarterbacks. Trevor Siemian struggling again tonight. Again under duress, John, frequently when he's tried to go back to pass.
This has not looked comfortable in a while, and rightfully so. He has taken a lot of shots, particularly in the last 2.5 weeks.
Harrison Butker kicks off for Kansas City. And Cody Latimer takes a knee.
We take a look at him early in this game. They pick up a blitz. They have an open receiver, but he doesn't look comfortable. Looks a little skittish in the pocket, and then he forces an interception. A terrible decision, throwing to a tight end against Marcus Peters, and then the rush starts getting after him. Justin Houston beats both tackles, and it's hard to have any kind of confidence when your offensive line has struggled like they have.
He's been courageous in the face of it, and his teammates appreciate the beating that he took last week and how he dealt with it. There's a poll in the Denver paper last week asking the Bronco fans who they'd want to be the quarterback, and he finished third behind Brock Osweiler and Paxton Lynch. But we saw a lot of Brock Osweiler last year, John, and in Cleveland in this preseason.
Yeah. Well,
and he struggled.
Look, he beat out Paxton Lynch, a #1 draft choice 2 years in a row, and Brock Osweiler will be ready if needed, but I don't care who plays quarterback if they don't start blocking better.
C.J. Anderson trying to weave through the traffic. And we did ask Vance Joseph last night, if Siemian continues to struggle, the offense continues to sputter, would you consider making a change? And he said no.
Well, I think he's looked at the film carefully. He knows the problems. They have 3 different backs. They don't know which back to feature. Emmanuel Sanders is not here. Other than Demaryius Thomas, they really don't have a lot of weapons. And they haven't pass protected. Menelik Watson has been a total disappointment at right tackle. Bowles is a rookie at left tackle. They rotate left guards every other series. Good luck.
3rd and 5. They're 2 out of 6 on 3rd down. Siemian throws on the run. Boy, is that a wobbly ball, up for grabs and intercepted by Ron Parker.
He's got to run the ball right there. He had the first down. That's a bad decision, and Vance Joseph can't believe it. He breaks contain. There's nobody there. He's got to run for the first down and get on with the game. But he throws the ball off to his 6'5" receiver, and Jordan Taylor can't make the play. And does Parker get both feet in? I believe he did. Turnovers killing Denver.
3 of them tonight.
You just can't play quarterback in this league if you turn the ball over. Will Vance Joseph consider Osweiler? He's got to do something to spark this offense. They've scored 10 points in their last 2 games, coming in here just 3 tonight, and they're wasting some really good defensive performances.
Minus 10 now, turnover margin, as you saw in the graphic. Denver tied with Cincinnati. Only Cleveland worse at minus 12. Kareem Hunt cannot spin away.
I tell you, Sean, these Broncos, they're like the Body Snatchers. You ever see that movie on Halloween? That old movie, The Body Snatchers. They're led by Domata Peko, their nose tackle. Watch how many Broncos are in on these tackles, on these running plays. You don't even know who gets credit for the tackle. There's 4 Denver Broncos on a lot of these tackles, and with an offense that has really struggled.
And Philadelphia giving up fewer rush yards per game. And it's Cleveland, the only team holding their opponents to fewer yards per rush. Smith, Tyreek Hill flies out of bounds with a first down to the 34-yard line.
Blew the coverage. I don't know who's supposed to run with Hill. He crosses the formation and no one runs with Tyreek Hill. That's a big mistake. So many different plays, so many great young players, and they have the play caller in Andy Reid.
On 1st and 10. Kareem Hunt to the 39-yard line. How about Tyreek Hill last year in the 2 games against the Broncos? Week 12, overtime victory. He's the first rookie since Gale Sayers in 1965 to score on a kick return, a rushing touchdown, and receiving touchdown. And then in week 16, Christmas night here, in their 33-10 win over the Broncos, a 70-yard rushing touchdown in the second quarter. He scored 4 touchdowns, also had a kickoff return score last year against the Broncos. 4 touchdowns in the 2 games. They said Von Miller in particular is the fastest man they've ever faced on a football field. Hunt's not slow either, and he's to the 45-yard line. We're to the 2-minute warning with 1:56 to go in the first half from Arrowhead Stadium. Halloween fun from Kansas City. Will you be home now tomorrow night in time to be Chucky for the how many years in a row have you been Chucky?
This is 18 years in a row. I am Chucky. I got a great costume. I don't scare the kids. They know it's me now, but I still go crazy on Halloween. I love it. Hope you do.
Kansas City leading 17-3.
Oh boy.
Alex Smith all the way down to the 38-yard line of Denver with a first down. Kelsey gets up limping and heads to the sideline.
How frustrating can it be against Alex Smith? Watch Von Miller on the right side of the screen working against Mitchell Schwartz. Just can't quite get there, and Alex Smith, what a conductor he is in this 2-minute offense. The Chiefs have scored more points at the end of each half than any team in the league. A lot of it is because of this man's ability to scramble.
Because of the stoppage briefly for Kelsey, Kansas City is charged a timeout in this situation. Turned his left ankle after he stepped on the foot of Bradley Roby. 17-yard run for Alex Smith. 1 timeout, plenty of time left in the half. Charkandrick West, the ball carrier, and he got taken down by Brandon Marshall.
It's a great play by Brandon Marshall, reading that design cutback run.
Holding defense number 95. By rule, this 5-yard penalty will be added to the end of the play and an automatic first down.
Get Derek Wolfe. Another penalty against this Bronco football team. And
well, the penalties and turnovers have been a killer in recent weeks.
Man-to-man, expect an audible here.
His last 2 games prior to tonight against the Giants and Chargers, they had 3 giveaways and no takeaways in each of those games. They turned it over 3 times tonight. They're trying to take it back for the 2nd time, and they do. Shaquille Barrett knocked it out, and Domotop Peko came up with it for the Denver Broncos.
This is what the doctor ordered. Barrett beats Fisher at left tackle. An uncommon turnover. That's the second one of the Chiefs tonight. They only had 1 turnover in their first 7 games.
On the first play of the season on offense back in New England. Boy, give Denver credit. This could very easily be about a 28-point game right now.
This defense is unbelievable. Nothing seems to bother them. Can Simeon and his Bronco offense put something on the board to make this interesting?
2 turnovers by the Chiefs. Time for Denver to capitalize. Demarius Thomas near midfield, about 2 yards short of a first down. 2 timeouts left for Mike McCoy, the offensive coordinator, Trevor Siemian, and this Denver offense.
And Houston, the man you have to get help for.
Tried to go inside on Watson. Siemian, an errant throw for Benny Fowler.
Simeon's pass intended for Benny Fowler.
Fowler has become the slot receiver of the Denver Broncos, and we said earlier they're missing Emmanuel Sanders, an outstanding Pro Bowl receiver. And other than Demarius Thomas, who's it going to be? Who's going to step up in these critical third down situations for this Bronco offense?
Fairly soon they're going to welcome Jake Butt, the rookie tight end out of Michigan, who's good in the passing game and recovering from knee surgery. Injured in his last game as a Michigan Wolverine in the Orange Bowl against Florida State, but he's getting close to being ready to play. Look out. Siemian retreating, still in trouble. Houston in pursuit and takes him down back at the 41-yard line.
You want to see a great play? Menelik Watson is going to cut Houston. He's going to chop him. It's a quick pass. He recovers and he hunts Trevor Siemian. That's awesome. Second sack tonight for Houston. He had 22 sacks in 2014. Has battled some injuries, and game-changing play there.
Houston's played only half their games the previous 2 seasons due to the knee injury. So there's the dangerous Tyreek Hill.
I would not give him a look. Punt it out of bounds with this amount of time left.
There's Dave Tobe. He's the special teams coach here in Kansas City. For the previous 3 seasons, his assistant special teams coach was Brock Olivo, who is now the head special teams coach for the Denver Broncos. They remain great pals. They actually talked during the week, and Dave Tobe told Olivo, "I'll be very disappointed if you don't try at least one fake against me tonight."
That's right. That Dave Tobe, he's as good as there is. They've scored 12 touchdowns on special teams in his 5 years here. They've given up none. And he has helped a lot of coaches in this business, that's for sure.
He actually interviewed for the Broncos head coaching job this offseason. He obviously went to Vance Joseph. Dixon's punt will roll down to the 10-yard line. Well, lots to talk about on the Toyota halftime. Susie, Charles, Matthew, and Randy. And the biggest subject matter, Jimmy Garoppolo's trade by the Patriots to the 49ers. And Scott Van Pelt will have an interview with Brian Kelly. Don't look now, but the Irish right in the thick of the playoff picture at 7-1, number 5 in the AP poll. College football playoff ranking show tomorrow night at 7 Eastern time on ESPN. The Irishmen out there almost certainly going to be in the playoff. Smith took a knee, and they'll head to the locker rooms. 17-3, Kansas City at the half. And as we head to the second half, the question could be raised, will Trevor Siemian be back for the second half? 5 out of 14 for 56 yards. Denver on offense, this team had 108 yards of total offense. If you were the coach of the Denver Broncos, time to make a change, go to Osweiler?
I'm making a change. You know, your quarterback is supposed to win games, take care of the football, and right now he's not doing either. I think they need a spark. They need to give somebody else the ball and try to get something going with his offense.
Time now for tonight's Kay Jewelers Extraordinary Moments. And again tonight, as was the case last year against Denver, Travis Kelce, some extraordinary moments.
Well, it's these formations. They have Chris Harris playing inside. They have Darian Stewart, a safety, playing outside. Alex knows it's man-to-man, and he checked to that slant and go. That's how it's done. The next time they put a tight end outside the receiver, and they know it's a zone. And he checks to 4 verticals, which is designed to beat that coverage. They've done it time and time again, using these formations to see if it's man or zone based on where the corners go. Let's see what Coach Joseph has for us in the second half. Will he stay with Trevor Siemian,
Short kickoff down to Akeem Hunt. And Kansas City will start from the 29-yard line. Let's head down to the field. Here's Lisa Salters.
Well, Sean, remember Vance Joseph told you guys last night that he would not be making a quarterback change tonight, regardless of how Trevor Siemian played, and he is sticking to that. I asked him, might he be considering a change, and he said no. It's a two-possession game. It's just 17-3. He said Trevor Siemian is our quarterback. We are sticking with him. Sean?
Well, they're fortunate it is a two-possession game. They were down 14-0. Kansas City was down in the red zone again and ran a trick play. Tyreek Hill for an interception. They went for the trick on Halloween Eve, and it turned out to be a treat for Denver. You can say it's a two-possession game, John, but they have 3 points. They have 108 yards. If you're going to make it closer than a two-possession game, the offense has to do something.
We've got 13 points in the last 6 quarters. And your quarterback has got to put points on the board, protect the football, and be a big part of winning. And right now, Siemian, 2 interceptions, just 5 out of 14. He needs some success quick.
Well, Kansas City with the ball trying to widen the lead. Alex Smith on target. DeMarcus Robinson seeing more action in the absence of Chris Conley, who ruptured his Achilles a couple of weeks ago. Robinson, second-year man out of Florida, seeing more snaps as a result.
And in checks Charkandrick West, their third down back. Missed last couple games with a concussion. One thing West has done an excellent job of is picking up blitzes. He's picked up 2 already tonight.
And smiling. We visited with him yesterday. He's about as happy and upbeat a guy as you'd ever want to talk to. His 4th year out of Abilene Christian. He swings out of the pass pattern to the left. Smith has demonstrated he can run for it. He tried to throw instead. Should have been a completion, but Demetrius Harris couldn't hang on to the ball.
Just missed the throw. Alex escaped. Perhaps Harris could have caught this pass, but moving to his right, he needs to make a better throw. Again, 3 and out by this Bronco defense. Nobody does it better on the opening drive of each half.
Dustin Colquitt to punt for the 3rd time. They're a man short. Charkandrick West comes on. Play clock down to 2. Very high and muffed. And the ball loose. Isaiah McKenzie, the rookie, couldn't make a clean catch of it.
It's the 4th fumble by McKenzie already this year.
And it's Kansas City's ball.
Great college returner, but I'll say it again. When you're a quarterback and you turn the ball over, or you're a punt returner and you mishandle the football, I'm making changes.
4th turnover of the night for Denver. They've turned it over 3 times in each of the previous 2 games.
Turnover ratio is unbelievable by the Denver
-12 now,
Broncos.
worst in the league, tied with Cleveland. Cleveland, the only team with more turnovers than Denver. Can the defense rally yet again? Smith, nobody there, not on the same page with Travis Kelce.
Oh, they had Hunt on an option route, I thought wide open, and you'll see Hunt come out of the backfield and win to the inside. I was surprised Alex didn't pull the trigger there. Last 2 throws, Alex has been off.
Take the run, and it's an errant pass in the general direction of Tyreek Hill.
Some of these red zone plays have backfired tonight for the Chiefs. And out of respect that they have for this Denver run defense, they continue to throw the ball on early downs.
Kansas City came into tonight having scored a touchdown on all 8 of their situations this year when it was goal to go. Denver stopped them twice in the first half in that situation. A little help from that backfired trick play. One of those instances. Kansas City just 1 out of 5 on 3rd down tonight. This is 3rd and 10, and it's a short catch. Nowhere near the first down marker is Kareem Hunt as he got yanked down by Brandon Marshall.
I really like Brandon Marshall. He struggled last year, had back-to-back 100-plus tackle seasons, and he's well on his way to many more than 100 this year. He can do it all. Never comes off the field. He stays in there as the only linebacker in their dime package. And got to credit this Bronco defense.
Yeah, they've been terrific. I mean, 7 of the points on the board for Kansas City. Result of the defensive score, the first score of the game, the fumble return by Marcus Peters. Butker kicks a 32-yard field goal. So the McKenzie muff of the punt results in 3 points on the board for the Chiefs, who now lead 20-3 in the 3rd quarter in Kansas City. September 17, 1990, on Monday Night Football, Broncos safety Steve Atwater delivered a thunderous hit on the Chiefs' 260-pound running back Christian Okoye. That set the tone for the game. Broncos won 24-23. Atwater was in his 2nd year, went on to make the first of his 8 Pro Bowls that season. Christian Okoye here tonight. They have about 70 former players here. They're on the field tonight honoring Carlos Carson, former wide receiver who went into the Chiefs Ring of Honor at halftime. Cody Latimer trying to provide a spark with a kickoff return. He brought the ball back to the 26. So here comes Trevor Siemian, the 3rd-year quarterback, out for his first possession of the 2nd half.
This looks skittish early in the game. He didn't stand in there. And a couple bad decisions. This ball thrown to a tight end against the Pro Bowl corner. Then I thought he should have run for the first down. He forced it. And a pass rush comes alive. Siemian struggling tonight. Where is Demaryius Thomas? They must get him involved.
C.J. Anderson up the middle, lowers his head and gets 11 and a first down for the Broncos.
Draw play. C.J. Anderson showing good vision, good north-south runner. Life doesn't get any easier for Denver. They have lost 2 in a row. They go to Philadelphia next week. That's no picnic.
They have a very difficult schedule upcoming. They have the toughest schedule in the league based on the winning percentage of their opponents from last year. Tough run again by Anderson. John, early in the year when they were successful and they were 3-1, they averaged 143 yards rushing in those 4 games, and they stuck with it. 32 rushing attempts. Now, it's been hard to stick with it in recent weeks because they've been behind, but they've averaged only 57 yards rushing in the game since.
And in the 3 wins, it was C.J. Anderson, Sean. He had over 20 carries in all 3 games. This is a world champion halfback. He doesn't make all the long runs that people are looking for, but if you want to run the rock, he's a guy I'd give it to.
Undrafted out of Cal, made the Pro Bowl in 2014. They've rushed for 88 tonight. Now back to the air. Anderson out of the backfield and into Kansas City territory. Shoved out of bounds by Reggie Ragland at the 46.
And you see what the running game does. It sets up some play action passes, and it makes it hard for the Chiefs to rush the passer. You're going to see Anderson just slip into the flat off of play action, but there's no pass rush. And that's when Denver is going to have success on offense. They're going to run the football with some success, and it's going to set up some play action opportunities. Here's Jamal Charles.
Back in at running back. He had 5 carries for 26 yards, better than 5 yards per carry in the first half. They had a costly fumble. They got run back for a touchdown by Marcus Peters and the Kansas City defense. He gets a yard there. That yards per carry is nothing new. For his career, 5.43 yards per carry. That is #1 in the history of the NFL.
He was one of the all-time greats. Let me tell you, long runs and an outstanding receiver, and he just needed 44 yards coming in here tonight to get 10,000 yards from scrimmage for his career.
Third down and 2. Inside handoff. First down and more. Devontae Booker trying to break one, and Parker wrestles him down inside the 20.
Good audible by Trevor Siemian. He saw the Chiefs overloaded. He went to a weak side run. He saw all these Chiefs lined up here. He runs the ball into the two-man surface, and they rip Kansas City. Great work by Siemian. He saw the overload, and that's an excellent job by the young quarterback.
And a 26-yard run as a result for Booker. They're in the red zone. They've been dreadful in the red zone in recent weeks. Booker goes ahead close to the 15-yard line.
Well, Mike McCoy calling the plays, and just curious why Demaryius Thomas is not in the game. You're down by 17 points. It's an obvious passing situation, and they have Isaiah McKenzie, the man that just fumbled. This must be a running play.
With Andy Janovich, the fullback, back in front of Devontae Booker. And Janovich was open. Looked like he lost the ball in the air. He went ducking as the ball came in his direction, and he was open.
Wide open. They put him in motion, and he runs a seam route out of the backfield. And Janovich is wide open.
He didn't appear to see the ball coming to him.
The ball landed 3 yards out of bounds. Once again, he did not set his feet. He's falling away from that throw.
They've scored 1 touchdown their last 12 red zone possessions. This is 3rd and 7. Great rush by Houston. Siemian escapes, and it's dropped by Benny Fowler. It would have been a touchdown.
Unbelievable. Scrambles, he gets out of trouble. He does an excellent job keeping his eyes downfield, and Fowler drops a touchdown.
Well, Vance Joseph has said many times it's not Siemian, it's the entire unit on offense. And that's a textbook example of what he's talking about. 34-yard try now for Brandon McManus. (20-6) with 8:11 to go in the 3rd quarter. Kansas City has the lead. Next Monday night, 8:15 Eastern Time, will be at historic Lambeau Field. The Packers and the Lions renew their rivalry. An important NFC North matchup. Those teams trying to keep pace with the Minnesota Vikings. Coverage begins next Monday night with countdown at 6 Eastern Time. How about those Vikings at 6-2? Most of the year without Sam Bradford and Dalvin Cook. Case Keenum's done a nice job filling in a quarterback. Keem Hunt, a good job bringing back the kickoff. Nearly reached the 30-yard line. Valiant effort by this Denver defense. Can they get the ball back quickly for the offense again? Well, if you're a Kansas City fan in the first half, you had to feel like your team should be much further ahead than they were. And now lately, if you're the Denver Bronco fan, you have to be thinking we could be closer than we are. with some squandered opportunities. Smith throws a sinker, almost intercepted. Intended for Tyreek Hill, but it was Aqib Talib nearest the ball.
Aqib Talib, 10 years he's done it. I drafted Talib in Tampa a long time ago. They went 12-1 at the University of Kansas. Talib and Chris Harris played together. Who would have thought that? Kansas hasn't won 12 games since Talib left. But what a player he is. He has great ball skills. You have to be very careful with Aqib Talib.
10th year out of Kansas, 34 career interceptions. Kareem Hunt, one stiff arm. Tried a second on Chris Harris, but could not get away. Nice tackle by the other Kansas Jayhawk.
I'm telling you, these men can tackle. That's what separates them. Everybody gets excited about their coverage ability and their passing stats, but when you're the nickel corner, you have to get off a block and then make tackles against backs like this. And Chris Harris, rock chalk Jayhawk. Two of the best corners in all of football, 45 minutes away right here, Lawrence, Kansas. Great work.
By the way, since then, Kansas has won 28 games.
Sorry about that. 10 years?
A few more than 12, but not many more. 28 and 89. Alex Smith, low throw. Charkandrick West, no catch. It hit the ground, and the Denver defense forces a 3-and-out.
This Denver defense, they don't watch the scoreboard. They just keep playing. Pass rush, coverage ability, another 3-and-out, and Vance Joseph has a lot more patience than I do. I would not have Isaiah McKenzie back here after his fourth fumble.
Dustin Colquitt to punt again. As bad as this Denver offense has been, they can score on this possession. It's a one-score game with a long way to go. McKenzie, even with all the fumbles, holding the ball like a loaf of bread in one hand, and managed to hang on to it as he went down at the 20-yard line. Lukemi Eligwe made the tackle, 51-yard punt, a gain of just 1.
That's bad ball security if you're a young punt returner at home.
The Walter Payton Man of the Year Award, presented by Nationwide, recognizes NFL players for their excellence on and off the field. Broncos tight end Virgil Green was nominated by his team last season for his work with the team's Be a Champion in the Community Mile High United Way initiative since he arrived in Denver 7 years ago. Virgil's been involved in a number of causes, including volunteering with programs that help to improve early childhood literacy, help children develop a love of reading. And then Virgil for his great work. Trevor Siemian finds Demarius Thomas, his 4th catch of the night.
Put Thomas on the left and throw him the ball against Acker. Just a nice change of speeds. Good in transition. Nice throw by Siemian. D Ford is out of the game. The only pure pass rusher Kansas City has is Justin Houston. I would get help on Houston, drop back and throw the ball to Thomas, but put him on the left.
I gave him 1 catch more than he has. It's his 3rd catch of the night on 6 targets. C.J. Anderson stacked up. He crossed the line of scrimmage.
Justin Houston, he has 2 sacks tonight. He's had some special uncommon effort plays as well. He got Menelik Watson. He got the rookie Garrett Bowles. And here he is again with an unbelievable second effort play, chasing down Siemian for another sack. They need Houston now more than ever. Ford is out of the game, will not return. It's Frank Zombo at the top of the screen filling in, and Houston working against Watson.
Another play fake by Siemian, dumped off. And Benny Fowler weaving through the traffic and makes it to the 38-yard line. Ron Parker might have saved a touchdown with that tackle.
Run a bootleg right at Houston. And you're going to see Fowler delay and go into the flat and showcase his after the catch skills. Nice job by Mike McCoy. Moving the pocket. Putting Siemian on the move. Here comes Denver.
29-yard play. Siemian Steps up, runs into the traffic. Looked like he thought he had a seam there to gain some yardage, but loses a couple on that play. Raheem Nunez-Roches and Benny Logan combined on the play.
This good inside pass rushing. Simeon, I think he's got to step up more subtly. He got caught between scrambling and throwing, and it's 2nd down and long.
Houston, with those 2 sacks tonight, has 10 against Denver since 2014. That is the most by any player in the league against one team in that span. He has terrorized the Broncos. Anderson bounces off some tacklers. C.J. Anderson has a first down. Out of bounds, far sideline. Flag down in the middle of the field at the 28-yard line near the end of the run.
And this one's coming back, but Simeon once again audibles to a running play. In the worst possible situations, the Broncos continue to destruct.
Holding offense, number 75. 10-yard penalty and repeat, 2nd down.
It's Menelik Watson at right tackle. He's been out with a calf injury. Former basketball player at Marist College. 4 years in Oakland, was hurt most of the time, and that's the backbreaker there. Boy, I miss coaching.
Yeah.
That's frustrating. Jamal Charles, keep an eye on this man as a receiver. They need to get after this underneath coverage of the Chiefs.
Inside handoff to Charles. Limited running room there. He did well to dance ahead inside the 40. Justin Houston, his old pal. Long-time teammates, last 6 years together.
This Marcus Peters, watch him go for another strip. He's not tackling Jamal Charles. He's tackling that football. He got one out in the first half and ran it back for a touchdown. 3rd down and 10. Houston at the bottom of the screen working against Menelik Watson. Will Bob Sutton blitz?
Looks like it. They're not in field goal range, you would think, for McManus, although the breeze would be at his back. They do bring pressure, and the receiver is open, and Latimer got just enough for the first down. Got tripped up short of the yard to make, but stayed on his feet. Got to the 28, 1st down.
It's the same place the Chargers scored on last week. You saw Fowler run interference for Lattimore. Travis Benjamin took that to the house a week ago. Nice read by Simeon. He knew it was man-to-man and got to the right slot combination.
They had been 0 for their previous 18 on 3rd and 10 or more. They converted on that one. The drive is alive. Trying to make it a one-score game if the
C.J. Anderson, the ball carrier.
Broncos could punch it into the end zone for the first time tonight. C.J. Anderson gets about 5 more.
This Trevor Simeon is one mentally tough kid. 2 years in a row he's won the starting job. John Elway drafted Brock Osweiler in the 2nd round. He drafted Paxton Lynch in the 1st round. He changed head coaches, and it's still Simeon.
Three-man rush this time. Down the far sideline, and a flag thrown. Kenneth Acker at single coverage on Demaryius Thomas, and apparently he's going to be penalized for pass interference.
That's great work. That's the man you have to go after, Acker, and that's the receiver you have to throw it to. Who's it on?
Definitely a penalty.
Pass interference, defense, number 25. Ball be placed at the spot of the foul and an automatic 1st down.
And these Chiefs have had a lot of penalties in the secondary. Cost them a game last week against the Raiders. Thomas at the top of the screen against Acker. Where you want to go?
Little toss sweep. Devontae Booker tripped up by Houston. What a night Justin Houston is having. And the run ends at the 6-yard line.
He's an amazing player. Nobody realizes how much he drops into coverage. He drops more than he rushes. He's an outstanding run defender. Good in coverage and obviously an impact pass rusher.
One touchdown their last 13 red zone trips, and now another. Booker with a nice hole opened by that offensive line. It is a one-score game, despite everything that Vance Joseph has had to endure on that sideline tonight.
Well, the ex-Dallas Cowboy Ron Leary, center Matt Paradis. This is as good as you can block it. On the second level, well done. Leary's still blocking. Denver has used all three backs and has hung around here, and this place is quiet.
Yes, very quiet. Extra point up and good by Brandon McManus. An 80-yard drive in 10 plays. Nice balance of the run and pass, and Booker scores from 6 yards out. His first touchdown of the season. It's a game in Kansas City. Sean McDonough, John Gruden, Lisa Salters, our producer Jay Rothman, our director Chip Dean, our outstanding ESPN Monday Night Football crew. It has become a game here. Denver on the strength of outstanding defense that has kept them in the game, and now 141 yards rushing on offense within 7 points. And the kickoff by Brandon McManus is a touchback, and they're within 7, John, and they have to think about what might have been if they hadn't had several key mistakes tonight.
Well, Marcus Peters with a strip fumble. McKenzie fumbles. That's 10 points they gave away, and then Fowler dropped the touchdown pass. This should be a Denver Bronco team out front, but I credit Vance Joseph. Poise on the road in the noise, hanging around just down 7. Can his defense continue to throttle this Chief offense?
He made the decision to stick with Trevor Siemian. Lean heavily on the ground game, obviously, in this third quarter, and there's Adam Gotsis to reject the run.
Oh, I like Gotsis. I love this guy, Gotsis. Second-round pick out of Georgia Tech, number 99. He's Australian.
Yes.
Look at this guy get rid of the lineman and stuff Kareem Hunt. The body snatchers. Gotsis becoming quite a defensive end in this 3-4 defense.
Georgia Tech coaches were looking for a kicker in Australia. They got wind that there was a big athletic guy who liked to play Australian rules football. Gotsis wound up being a 3-year starter at Georgia Tech. Just 12 yards of offense in this quarter now for Kansas City. And Denver, for as much as they have had a tough time on offense, has actually outgained the Chiefs in this game, 244 to 210.
And they're feeling the rush. And Shane Ray, in his first game back after a training camp wrist injury, came clean on a stunt. Be very careful if you're Alex Smith on 3rd down and long against this pass rush. 3 defensive ends on the field.
Big play here. Momentum on the side of Denver, and it looked like Wolf jumped.
Sure did. Derek Wolf, they got him. 3rd time tonight the Broncos have been offside.
Infraction, defense number 95. 5-yard penalty, remains 3rd down.
That opens up the pass rush, or the playbook, I should say, for Andy Reid. 3rd and a long 5. Much more manageable. Keep an eye on Kelsey at the bottom of the screen. Working against Will Parks, number 34.
Kansas City just 1 out of 7 on 3rd down tonight. Kendrick West, the running back. 3-man rush for Denver. Smith finds his man Kelsey. And it's a 1st down.
These revealing formations, you put the 3 receivers on one side, all 3 corners go, and he saw Parks one-on-one with Kelsey all the way. He was open for a while. Alex just couldn't find him. But the penalty on Wolf, the hard count by Alex Smith, a huge weapon in tonight's game.
And a big play. It's the only 1st down of the 3rd quarter for KC. On to the fourth quarter we go here in Kansas City. The Chiefs leading 20-13. They just converted a big third down and have it 1st and 10 from their own 41-yard line. Smith deep down the middle. Kelsey running free again. Kelsey inside the 30 and tripped up on the far sideline by Bradley Roby.
Another one of those college plays that Andy Reid has borrowed. They fake the bubble. Alex is going to pump it and then hit Kelsey on the over route. But the manipulation of the underneath coverage, pumping that little bubble screen and finding Kelsey on the over. You see every Saturday in college football. And how many plays does Andy Reid have on that sideline sheet? I'd like to know.
All these new wrinkles added by Matt Nagy, the offensive coordinator.
It's another offsides against Von Miller, I believe. That might be Shaquille Barrett, number 48.
False start, offense, number 84.
What?
5-yard penalty remains, first down.
Get Demetrius Harris.
Tight end.
So many different snap counts tonight.
1st and 15 from the Denver 31-yard line.
Kelsey tonight, after that 33-yard gainer, 7 catches for 133 yards. On top of the 19 catches he had in the 2 games against Denver last season.
Play clock operator, please reset the play clock. The game clock to 14:18. 14:18, and started my signal.
And Denver, excuse me, Sean, subbing back into their dime defense. When they get into this sub package, remember, Ray becomes a defensive end. Barrett becomes a defensive end. And I think this is when they're most dangerous rushing the passer. In their base defense, they're outside linebackers.
And he does hand it off to Hunt. And he stopped at the 29-yard line by a group of Broncos, including the fired-up Shelby Harris in his 3rd year out of Illinois State.
Undrafted. Shelby Harris has really come into his own. They let Sylvester Williams, a 1st-round pick, leave. And you see Shelby Harris get rid of Eric Fisher and stuff Kareem Hunt. Great work. This is zone coverage this time, and Alex Smith will see it. What will he do?
They are in field goal range for Harrison Butker, and the field goal would be big here. Smith still behind the line of scrimmage, throws it away. Derek Wolfe applying the pressure that time.
And Von Miller checks back in. All the sacks that he has 80 sacks, as fast as any man in football. But what I love about Miller, a lot of them come in the 4th quarter. He's a clutch pass rusher. He shows his endurance, his stamina, and his playmaking in the biggest moments. And they need him now to knock Kansas City out of field goal position.
Done a nice job with Miller tonight. Quick pass. So it's a pretty tentative play call. This Denver defense, best in the league in total defense coming tonight, has outplayed this high-flying Andy Reid offense tonight.
Yeah, I like that play call on 3rd down and long. You want to make it a 2-possession game. You want this field goal. And if you're going to drop back the pass and hold the ball and try and throw a 14 or 16-yard dig route against Von Miller in the 4th quarter, I disagree with you.
So Butker 2 for 2 already tonight. This is from 43. And it is good.
Buttkicker.com.
He's made 16 in a row. It's a 10-point lead for the Chiefs. Welcome back to Kansas City, Coach. In our 2 years together, heard you talk a lot about the factor grade. What does that mean?
Well, you got to grade your players, and you especially got to grade your great pass rushers. So if you're the position coach, how many tackles do they get? If you get a tackle, you get a point. If you pressure the quarterback, you get a point. You hit the quarterback, you get a point. Tackle for loss, I give you 2. A batted ball's 2 points. Sack, you get 3. A forced fumble for sure is 3. Recover a fumble, it's another 3. You get an interception, that's 3. Uncommon effort, I give that 3 points. If you score, you get 5. But when you add the factor grade tonight, look what Justin Houston has done and what Kansas City has done, making him a non-factor. They deserve credit, but you got to give Justin Houston a lot of credit for the way he has ruined this game with a lot of different types of plays.
I should say he's been a big factor. No doubt about that. Here's Cody Latimer picking up the squib kick.
I'm going to get a factor grade on you, Sean. You know, three-syllable words, you get a point. 4-syllable words, you get 3 points. You squeak your voice like you did in the Michigan State game, you get 5 points.
Charlie in the box. Nobody wants a Charlie in the box. It's a touchdown.
I got you down, Pat.
Brother. You know who else you have down? I wish maybe for the Denver fans especially, you do a little bit of your Wade Phillips imitation before we're...
Frank Caliendo has taught me well.
Yes, he has. Down by 10. Simeon been much better here in the second half. Been given a lot of time to throw relative to the first half because the running game's been going. They've been able to throw play action passes. That's a 15-yarder to Demaryius Thomas.
Line them up on the left. Go after Acker. Keep doing it. Good play call. First down play action pass. Acker, who started 13 games for the 49ers a couple years ago, has played 2 seasons in Kansas City. Haven't seen him play much.
They bring Thomas in motion back to the left to Acker's side. And an inside run for C.J. Anderson. Now with a 10-point lead, if you were the Chiefs defensive coaches and Bob Sutton, would you be tempted now to have Peters flip-flop sides, even though they don't like to do that, and have him stick with Thomas?
They will not flip sides. They just won't do it. He's going to stay on the left. Much like Josh Norman anchors one side of the field. They know what they have going. They know how they can get help if needed for Acker. I think they're going to need to get him some help down the stretch.
Second and 8, Broncos. Simeon might switch that play to the run by Anderson. He got bounced around, made it to the 48-yard line. Here comes a big 3rd down. Daniel Sorensen the tackle.
Sorensen, what a story he is. Nobody would think that he's the leading tackler of the Kansas City Chiefs. Undrafted out of BYU. He's a safety, and he kicks down into linebacker in their dime package. Dirty Dan Sorensen, they call him around here. He is a mean, nasty football player. 3rd is short. Thomas at the bottom against Acker. Great time to take a shot.
Thomas seemed unsure of the play, and they get a timeout with 1 second on the play clock.
They wanted that matchup. And Demaryius not on the same page with his young quarterback.
So they have to use the timeout. And obviously down by 10 in the 4th quarter. They didn't want to have to do that in this situation.
Kansas City has really struggled with the 50-50 balls, the jump balls. I've never seen more jump balls complete in 7 games than I've seen against the Chiefs. They've had a lot of pass interference calls, and they've had some incredibly bad plays on these jump balls. Demaryius Thomas, they got to give him a shot before this game is over.
Third down and 4 out of the gun. Simeon in trouble. Stays alive. Flag down. Finally gets it off, and it's dropped by A.J. Derby. There might have been a holding penalty as well.
It's going to be holding on Denver, but you have to admire the effort of Justin Houston.
Holding, offense number 72. This penalty is declined. The result of the play creates fourth down.
Watch Houston. He's working against the tight end. He beats Derby. He dives after Simeon. He gets up and stays on the attack. The alert for the fake.
Yes, just thinking that. You were mentioning during the last break. It's 4th and 4. You're near midfield. The field position where you're likelier to fake a punt. We even mentioned Dave Tobe, the special teams coach for Kansas City. His former assistant Brock Olivo, now the head special teams coach for Denver, and he challenged him to run a fake during the week.
Well, they're going for it.
Yeah, no fake here. They're going for it on 4th down. Play clock again, down to 3. They come over to help on Thomas, and good coverage over the middle by the veteran Derek Johnson. All-time leading tackler in Kansas City history in his 13th year. Knocked the ball away.
Zone defense, and he read the quarterback's eyes all the way.
Taking over on downs, 1st and 10 Chiefs at the Denver 48. Kansas City leading by 10. They pound the run straight ahead. Kareem Hunt. Justin Simmons ripped that ball away.
Yes, he did.
A little bit too late. They had stopped Hunt.
That's what they need. They need to strip the football. They need to hold him up and rip it out. And Justin Simmons thought he got that ball out of there. That's what you practice. And if you've seen Denver practice, they do an outstanding job getting many people to the ball, punching it, raking it, stripping it out.
They said they needed to get back to creating turnovers. They've had 2 takeaways. There's a false start.
Flag on the play.
False start. Offense, number 72. 5-yard penalty. Remains 2nd down.
Chiefs have been sloppy, Sean, here in the second half on offense.
Thank you.
Second time tonight, Fisher out early.
They had Hunt lined up in the Wildcat on that play.
Kansas City going to have to hurry. Just 12 seconds left.
2nd down and 14 from the Chiefs' 48-yard line.
And 2nd and 14. Smith's across the line of scrimmage and extends the ball. Where are they going to mark it? Looks like just short of the line to make. He got run across the sideline by Brandon Marshall.
And these Broncos told us they have seen Dak Prescott, they've seen Tyrod Taylor, but they think Alex Smith's as good a scrambler as they have seen. And Kelsey, left side of your screen, did a great job blocking Bradley Roby.
They signal 1st down. It did look live in on the replay like he extended the ball where he needed to get, but it looked like on the original mark it was short of that yellow line. Needed 14. They got 14. Kareem Hunt tried to turn the corner. Short gain. Well played. Domotop Peko in on the stop again.
It's Brandon Marshall. He is intense. He's got a high motor, very athletic and instinctive. The leader of this defense, but his recognition and his ability to track ball carriers is uncommon. Watch him get rid of Mitch Morse, the center, and make that tackle.
They've done a great job on Kareem Hunt tonight. He lines up in the Wildcat again with Smith behind him. They fake the handoff to Tyreek Hill, and Hunt went straight ahead. As we mentioned earlier, he's the first player in the history of the league with 100 yards or more from scrimmage in each of the first 7 games of his career. He's going to have to hustle to get to 100 tonight. He has 50 yards rushing and 22 receiving.
And he's earned every one of those yards tonight. Domotop Peko, the ex-Cincinnati Bengal. What a great play.
Play clock at 1. Just did get it off. Smith fires incomplete in the direction of Travis Kelce.
That's the matchup they have been craving. They put the 3 receivers at the top of the screen, and all 3 corners go with them, and he sees the safety Parks one-on-one with Kelce. You heard him audible. There's separation. Alex just missed the throw.
A 51-yard.
And here's Butker for a bomb.
A 51-yard try. As long as 53. Already 3 for 3 tonight. And he has made 17 in a row.
He might be the grinder again. Butker putting on a show.
Oh boy. Harrison Butker. And Isaiah McKenzie's going to try it. Whoa, he got popped and did well to hang on to the football. There's a flag down. Kevin Pierre-Louis said hello.
Watch this at real speed. The ex-Seattle Seahawk.
During the return of the kick, holding receiving team number 41. 10-yard penalty. Excuse me. Be penalized half the distance to the goal. First down.
Boy, Derek Johnson, the middle linebacker of the Kansas City Chiefs, 35 years old. What a play he made on that 4th down. He showed a double-A gap blitz. Watch him, 56. He's going to bail out of there and play this Tampa 2 coverage. And he's going to read the quarterback and drive on Isaiah McKenzie and get off the field. All-time leading tackler of your Kansas City Chiefs.
4-time Pro Bowler. Pass caught by Demaryius Thomas, again working on Kenneth Acker. And we've watched a lot of film of Kansas City. We've had them twice in the last 3 weeks. It's clear Derek Johnson is slowing down. I mean, he's coming toward the end, you'd have to think.
No doubt. But he has managed to fight through 2 Achilles injuries, 35 years old, and he did make a great play on that 4th down.
Denver will have to operate quickly, down by 13. Another drop pass by Benny Fowler. Drop what would have been a touchdown pass in the 3rd quarter.
I make these plays. Denver obviously in a 2-minute offense, and a couple nice deliveries by Simeon. You have to pick your quarterback up. Too many drop passes and penalties have really hurt this Bronco offense.
On 2nd and 10. Oh boy, late and back across the middle. Recipe for a disaster, and that's what happened. Kenneth Acker, the interception, the 5th turnover of the night by the Broncos.
That's unacceptable. John Elway, perhaps. You're scrambling to your right, and you throw this ball against the grain. No way. Marius Thomas and Acker. Got to credit Acker. They have targeted him repeatedly tonight, and when they needed him the most, he stepped up. Terrible decision. 3 interceptions, turnovers, interceptions, sacks, fumbles.
It looked like they got away with a blatant hold on the right side of their offensive line on that play. Kareem Hunt, the ball carrier. Zaire Anderson made the tackle.
Young quarterback, just in his 2nd season, and used to spend a lot of time with these young quarterbacks. We used to talk about ISF.
I'm afraid
interceptions, sacks, and fumbles. Intolerable sick football, I called it. And you have to eliminate the interceptions. You have to eliminate the sacks and the fumbles to win in this league and stay in this league.
There's a lot of potential for that to be much worse. ISF.
Yeah, it sure had potential.
There's Kareem Hunt. Not back to the line of scrimmage. Where the Denver defense again. You know, they can get any kind of offense. I know that's been the case for several years now in Denver.
Yeah, and I think they've gotten better, Sean, on defense. Domata Peko, we brought his name up several times tonight. He's the perfect nose for this scheme. 11 years he did it in Cincinnati, and they've come in here, played well, missing a couple really good linebackers. Use all the clock.
They'll try to force another field goal. Kansas City's kicked 4 field goals and they've scored a touchdown on defense. So Denver's done a great job keeping the offense out of the end zone after the pump fake. That is dropped in the end zone by Demetrius Harris, the former basketball player on the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee.
Got to make that catch. Had the matchup he wanted.
Wow.
Ball hit him right in his hands. Denver has blocked 2 field goals. They're the only team in the league that has blocked 2 field goals. And in the worst way, they need to block this kick. See if they can storm the house.
John's friend, the butt kicker here, is 5 for 5 now. He has earned that nickname. Your man Andy Reid gave it to him, did he not?
Yeah, he did. Butt kicker. 5 field goals. This man was drafted by the Carolina Panthers to compete with Graham Gano. They had him on the practice squad. They lost their kicker, and you have to credit this Dave Tope. He worked out the kickers. He knew who this man was. He was their top-ranked kicker.
Yeah.
And
so
he
they
went
grade
got
about
him.
10 to 15 college kickers who are coming out every year, and they did that this year. And Butker was #1, but they liked their incumbent kicker, so they didn't go after Butker. But when they needed somebody, they knew Carolina was trying to stash him on their practice squad, and what a pickup that has been by the Chiefs.
Seen a lot of kickers go down. The Redskins lost their kicker. The Cowboys have lost their kicker for a while. And when you know where to go to find a replacement like this, I'm sure Andy Reid is going to walk down to Dave Tope's office and maybe give him a little Christmas bonus for that. Wow.
But the drop touchdown pass means it is still a 2-score game. It would take a couple of 8s. It's a long shot. John, we talked about this Denver offense. I think they're in serious jeopardy of not making the playoffs. They're going to go under 500 if the score stays this way. But with their schedule coming up, it's going to be hard for them to win many games going forward if they're playing like this. They go to the Eagles, the best team in the league right now. They have the Patriots coming to Denver. They're home for the Bengals, and they go to the Raiders. They have the toughest schedule in the league.
And they really don't have much of an identity on offense, and they're turning the ball over at an alarming rate.
Simeon slides. Paxton Lynch working his way back from a right shoulder sprain. Not active again tonight, but he's getting closer, it seems, to being able to return. I'm interested to see as they go forward if Vance Joseph does start to rethink his quarterback situation. That's shoveled ahead for a first down to Devontae Booker.
Well, you know, Sean, when you look at the right guard, that's Connor McGovern in there, number 60. That's the 3rd different right guard I've seen Denver use. They've used 4 different right tackles. They have a rookie at left tackle, and that's not the recipe for success.
Whoever plays quarterback is going to be under duress, and certainly Simeon is demonstrating right now he does have mobility. And we've seen that in the past from Osweiler, too. For a guy who's 6'8", he can move around. There's Brock Osweiler, let go by Cleveland in the preseason after Houston traded him to Cleveland, and he was delighted to come back to Denver. He and his wife loved their time there previously and are excited to be back.
He went 5-2 for Denver when they won the Super Bowl in relief of Peyton Manning. And don't forget about Paxton Lynch.
Booker got rocked. Stayed on his feet for a moment, kept the ball, and he's close to midfield.
Paxton Lynch is the 26th pick in the draft. He is in his second year. He hurt his shoulder against Green Bay, throwing shoulder in the preseason, and he's starting to practice again. You have a first-round pick, a second-round pick invested in young quarterbacks, in the 7th rounder, Simeon.
That was one of his best spirals of the night. It was way out of bounds. There is a flag down after the throw.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, defense number 95. 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
Chris Jones, in his second year out of Mississippi State. Paxton Lynch did make the trip.
You know, John Elway drafted both of these guys. He drafted Lynch, traded up to get him. And he brought in Brock Osweiler. Many thought he'd be the heir apparent to Peyton Manning. And nobody knows quarterbacks like John Elway, but what will the Hall of Famer do in the second half of the season at the most critical position in sports?
That number says it all. 2 touchdowns the last 38 drives. The 10 points combined in the last 2 games. And the shutout in the last game. The shutout in the last game was the first time they have been shut out since 1992. 394 games. Second longest streak of all time, and it's a glum John Elway looking on tonight. 2nd and 10. Over the middle, Jeff Hireman, the tight end, in his 3rd year out of Ohio State. And he's battled injuries in his brief time in the NFL. He got a first down.
First time I've seen this rookie pass rusher, number 92 for the Chiefs. Passing on out of Villanova.
Latimer, the intended receiver, and the coverage by Steven Nelson, making his season debut. Had core muscle surgery in the summer and was just activated today.
They missed Nelson. And obviously Bob Sutton, the defensive coordinator, has made a couple changes in the secondary. Acker started for Terrence Mitchell at right corner and has gone the distance. And Nelson replaced Gaines in the slot. And they've made a big improvement.
Simeon over the middle. Jamal Charles to the 21-yard line. They're moving, but the clock is moving just as quickly. Down to 2.5 minutes to go. 2 timeouts for Denver.
Been a lot of zone coverage. Keep them inbounds. Make the tackle. Get out of here and end this 2-game winning streak at home if you're Kansas City.
Charles first down. Jamal Charles to the 11-yard line, and that'll take it to the 2-minute warning. Kansas City leading 29-13.
I was working in the lab late one night.
All right, Scott, thanks. On that last 10-yard rush by Jamal Charles, that got him to exactly 10,000 career yards from scrimmage. He is the 10th active player now with 10,000 or more career yards from scrimmage. 10th play of the drive for Denver. Started from their own 25, trying to make it a 1-score game. Simeon throws a touchdown to A.J. Derby with Eric Murray in coverage.
Got to go for 2. And Murray, who struggled last week against the Raiders big time, no match for Derby. Left side of your screen, just a corner route. That's a nice job by Derby, bodying up against the undersized Murray for the touchdown. This is the game right here. If you want any chance, he must make this conversion.
First catch of the night for Derby for an 11-yard touchdown. Now the 2-point try that they have to have. Go for an onside kick. Try to get another 8. Simeon too high. Wow.
Gotta give him a chance.
Yeah, you gotta give him a chance. I mean, there's no harm if they pick it off. Better than just throwing it away and giving it absolutely no chance.
Corner route Acker against Thomas, and we talked about the 50-50 balls, how the Chiefs have struggled. That's a 0-100 ball. You got no chance to make that play. You got to give the big Thomas a chance to go make a circus catch.
Well, the points do help them avoid some unpleasant history. They came in having scored under 17 points in each of the previous 4 games. That hadn't happened since 1999. And Denver had only been held under 17 points in 5 straight games once in its history, and that was back in 1961. So they could have matched that again tonight had it not been for that touchdown they just scored. Thomas trying to keep Simeon's spirits up, and true to form, he battled all night long, as he does. And that's one of the things that Vance Joseph likes about him. A great competitor. Onside kick.
A couple bad decisions, a couple bad drop passes, and Kansas City's a good football team.
5 turnovers. Anthony Sherman recovered the onside kick. Well, it wasn't pretty tonight, but it will be a win for Andy Reid, and that'll get them back to a tie for the best record in the AFC with the Steelers and the Patriots. And how about those Buffalo Bills? We talk about the points or turnover margin. They are plus 14 to lead the league. Sean McDermott doing a great job.
Doing a great job. And he has let some well-known Buffalo Bills go in the process.
I have shared in Sean McDermott's success. When he won in his debut as the head coach of the Buffalo Bills, we have a mutual friend, Phil Housley, the coach of the Buffalo Sabres, who sent me a text congratulating me on my first win as a head coach of the Buffalo Bills. I texted back, said thank you, but I think he meant to send this to Sean McDermott.
I think you.
And he said as soon as I hit send, I knew that was the case.
Interesting, Coach Joseph, he walked in last night. He's an impressive young coach, and he will have his medal tested. Young coach, you lose 3 in a row.
And 4 out of 5.
I give Andy Reid all the credit in the world. He's a guy I work with, and what a grinder he is.
I don't know if a lot of people realize that he is in the top 10 in the history of the league now in wins. Andy Reid with this win tonight, 190
that's
career wins, playoffs and regular season.
And you just talked about Sean McDermott. He was a former assistant for Reid. Ron Rivera, John Harbaugh, world champion coach. And look, this is a man that does a lot of detailed research, and the practice field is his laboratory. He conducts great practices. I love his enthusiasm for the game. He knows his team. He spends a lot of time with these players. He knows exactly what makes them tick. He's still on the cutting edge, and he's hired a great staff. Matt Nagy's offensive coordinator, done an unbelievable job behind the scenes, much like Coach Peterson has of the Philadelphia Eagles. But what a legacy he's had in this league.
10th all-time in wins. Shula, Hallis, Landry, Belichick, Curly Lambeau, Chuck Noll, Marty Schottenheimer, Dan Reeves, Chuck Knox, and Andy Reid.
Pretty good.
Top 10. Yeah.
It's pretty good.
All-time in wins. Of course, the big thing missing on his resume is the Super Bowl, and the big thing missing on Alex Smith's resume is success in the playoffs. Now 259 passes thrown without an interception.
16 touchdowns, no interceptions. I mean, that's hard to do in 7-on-7 with no pass rush. Finally putting together the numbers that will earn him some respect that he certainly deserves.
In their next game, he might have a chance to set the NFL record for the most passes without interception to start the year. That's Bernie Kosar, 286 for the Browns in 1991 for a rookie head coach we just mentioned, Bill Belichick.
You're reeling off some pretty strong information.
Well, you know,
here,
it's
brother.
a 10-point game with 58 seconds to go. I have my big Andy Reid chart up here in the booth myself. With all these golden nuggets that America's been waiting for here in the final minute.
I just wonder what Mike McCarthy's up to, Sean, the head coach of the Green Bay Packers. I can't wait to get to Lambeau. Obviously, very sorry to see the injury of Aaron Rodgers, but on a bye week, what did Mike McCarthy do to get Brett Hundley ready to run the show for the Packers against the Lion team. Both these teams got to have a win to keep pace with the Minnesota Vikings, and there's no place like Lambeau Field.
Looking forward to it. Never called a game from there. I know you coached in Green Bay and worked there as a broadcaster. I was there once in high school.
You'll love it.
I actually stood in the back of the booth.
I'll buy you a
Monday Night Football. They played the Patriots, and Howard Cosell invited me to stand in the back of the booth. That was an experience I have not forgotten, and I never will. Are you going to go curling with our crew? Is it curling or hurling? I don't know which one we're doing. Curling, apparently. We're next Saturday night.
I want to go hang around at the Brett Favre Steakhouse.
You know, our crew is curling. Apparently, there's a place you can go curling. Is that the thing with the ice? When you have the brooms and the little
I've been there.
things?
Of course, it's a Green Bay curling club. You'll enjoy that. You'll be a serious underdog with our crew, though. We've got some experienced curlers.
I don't know how. I asked a lot of people on our crew if does anybody know the rules of curling, and apparently they don't. So apparently we're just making it up as we go, which seems to be kind of appropriate for our squad. Simeon down by 10. Oh boy. Second time he's worked that. For a completion. That one to A.J. Derby. Denver's going to fall to 3 and 4. Two-and-a-half games behind the Chiefs. They'll meet in the regular season finale. Jordan Taylor, his first catch of the night, second-year man out of Rice.
And this will be a lot different offense next week when they play Philadelphia if Emmanuel Sanders can play. These are two Pro Bowl 1,000-yard receivers, and it sure helps when you have them both ready for action.
They got the running game going a little bit tonight, but that'll be tested against Philadelphia and their outstanding rush defense. So Alex Smith leads Kansas City to victory, ending their two-game losing streak. 29-19 the final. We'll see you next weekend from Green Bay. Here's Scott Van Pelt.
ESPN thanks you for watching this presentation of the National Football League.